What is going on, LEGO investors? So today we're going to talk about why LEGO should drop Harry Potter and bring back Lord of the Rings. So as you know, I think Harry Potter is a terrible, terrible investment, and the theme is just ultimately dead. A lot of people just are not buying the sets, and they just sit on the shelves and they wait for sales to come. Now, Lord of the Rings is an extremely popular line and has been successful, and I think there's a huge potential where the Lord of the Rings theme could become the second theme of all time. So, right now we have Star Wars, which is number one, and I think Lord of the Rings could become the number two set or number two theme. So, I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Do you think that LEGO should bring it back? Yes, I do know we have just a few sets that they're bringing back each year. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a full blown bringing everything back and just pure awesomeness. So comment down below, it definitely helps the channel and it helps the community. So let's go over Lord of the Rings, some of the sets. And when I say Lord of the Rings, I also include The Hobbit, anything Lord of the Rings related. So right now we have the 4 sets that are out. These are absolutely awesome sets. Anything Lord of the Rings, I'm going to try and pick up a ton of. I think I just love the movies, the books, everything about Lord of the Rings is just truly epic, and I think it's just by far the best LEGO theme in my opinion. And yes, personally, I think Lord of the Rings trumps Star Wars. I know that hurts a lot of people, but that's my opinion. But we've got these 4 sets. The Rivendell set, I believe, is probably the number one set that LEGO has ever created. It is absolutely beautiful and absolutely stunning, and I truly believe it is. It is probably number one or close to number one. It is absolutely awesome. So Lord of the Rings has a history of just the sets have done absolutely amazing. So if you see here, the Council of Elrond retailed for 30, value of 125. Battle at the Black Gate, which is a phenomenal set, retailed for 60. Such a great, great price. And man, if I could go back in time, I would just invest in Lord of the Rings and anything Hobbit related. I would probably take out loans because they're just absolutely amazing. So Battle at the Black Gate retailed for 60, value of 363. Just the Mines of Moria retail for 80, value of 324. Battle of Helm's Deep, phenomenal set and great price for 130, value of 533. So Lord of the Rings just absolutely has a history of doing very, very well. And I think that in comparison to Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings is far more popular. So why isn't Lord of the Rings back fully? So I've said this a few times on my channel, and if you have information on this, please comment down below. I would love to hear it. And this is just a theory. I have done research on this, but I have not been able to confirm it. So the rumor is that Harry Potter has an agreement with Lego where they can only be the fantasy line that Lego has, and that's why Lego doesn't have any other fantasy line themes, and that's why they create their own, like the elves and just other weird themes that really aren't successful. And supposedly the rumor is it's because of Harry Potter has an agreement with Lego where they can be the only fantasy theme. And I think that it is really terrible if that is true, because I think just there's a huge potential for Lego to earn just a ton of money with anything Lord of the Rings related. And that's why I think they should drop Harry Potter, because it is such a terrible theme right now. So if you look at Harry Potter, any recent modern day Harry Potter, I'm not talking before 2016. Obviously, any set before 2016 did amazing in Lego, but nowadays these sets just aren't selling, and we keep getting the same sets over and over again, and you're limited in what you can make with Harry Potter. All the minifigures are just absolutely bottom barrel prices because you only have so many characters you can make in the Harry Potter universe, and really all the sets that have been made recently have done terrible. There's a few one-offs, but overall they just have a history of sitting on the shelves and going on sale and often selling below retail. I mean, a lot of these prices are just absolutely terrible. And some of these sets, yeah, might have done well. Like we have Hedwig, that was a success. You know, Fox is I want to classify Fox as a failure. I hate to say it, but just a lot of these sets just are absolutely not doing well for investing. And I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, they're not looking at it from the investing aspect," but investors are is what has been keeping Lego alive, and that's why Lego earns billions of dollars and why there's so much demand for Lego is because investors have created an awesome secondary market that has been really keeping just the demand and everything alive. And we as investors have truly taken Lego to the next level. And a lot of people will disagree with that, but we really have allowed Lego to grow and create a lot of the sets that they created. So now why do I think Lord of the Rings should be brought back instead of Harry Potter? And I think there is one thing that is the main aspect of it. One, it has a huge following, but the biggest thing is army building. And I think that's why Star Wars is so successful. Is because it's an army building theme in addition to the popularity and awesomeness. But there's no real other theme that can really do a whole lot of army building. Yes, we have the castle and knights, which is successful, but we don't really have that as a theme. And I think Lord of the Rings has a potential to compete with Star Wars because yes, we only have so many main characters, but they could go crazy with army building. You can do different variations of commanders, leaders, figures, horses. I mean, we got elves, Rohan, Gondor, orcs, Uruk-hai. There's so many different armies that they could do, and different variations of minifigures in that, where the potential is just absolutely huge. And that's why I think this would become the second theme of all time and compete against Star Wars, is because it's an army building set, in addition to the awesomeness. And I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you like that we don't really have Lord of the Rings sets because maybe you have some of the old ones and they're worth a ton of money? The potential is huge, and honestly, I don't even know if the people who have the rights to the Lord of the Rings toy line know that they have the rights. I mean, just the rights and everything has been sold so much, and it might be tied to, you know, certain movies and lineups. So there's just I think one day they're going to figure it out, and I think Lego is seeing the demand for Harry Potter drop, and they're seeing how just bad the sets have done, and I truly think they're going to drop it. And I think with the potential with Warner Brothers releasing that they're going to remake the Lord of the Rings movies, which is absolutely awesome. And yes, unfortunately, since Amazon has been making The Rings of Power, which is by far the worst show I've ever seen in my entire life, I think there still is a lot of potential for the sets to do awesome. Even though that's probably arguably one of the worst shows ever created, The Rings of Power, I truly believe it is the worst. They made a huge mistake with that. Even though the show is terrible, I think if they made sets related to that show, I think the sets would do awesome despite the show doing terrible. Just because it's Lord of the Rings and you've got potential to army build. There is mass amounts of money when army building, and that's why Star Wars is so successful. So, comment your thoughts and opinions down below. I'd love to hear them. And yeah, I am waiting for that day to come back. But until Lord of the Rings is brought back fully, I'm going to buy any sets that they have because I truly believe they're going to be great investments. So, as always, do your own research, have some fun, make some money.
Video is not financial advice. Any statements made are my views and is for entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as financial advice. Do your own research before making any financial investments.